So today I want to go into the two sides of our feminine consciousness. And if we really look at the feminine as a whole, we have 50% of what is known as white Shakti, and we have 50% of what is known as red Shakti, okay? We have the white river and the red river of Shakti. And these are two very important polarities that sit within the feminine consciousness, and that when integrated and when working together, create a beautifully empowered yet tender and loving and nurturing, wholesome woman. Okay, so how we get to that space is we first have to identify, okay, what is the white river of Shakti and what is the red river of Shakti. And this is beautifully illustrated in the story of Lilith and Eve. And for those who don't really know the story, it's said that Lilith was actually the first woman who was created. She was Adam's first wife. And Lilith's energy, like, she was a very empowered, free-spirited, wild, erotic woman. And so she did not conform to Adam. She did not submit to him. She had a mind of her own. She had a will of her own, and she didn't want to just be the perfect housewife. Okay, and so she actually left, and in came Eve, and Eve really embodied the beautiful, nourishing, nurturing mother energy, the energy that's of service and fosters devotion and unconditional love. And so she was better suited to co-create and to build life together and to be empathetic and feel into other people's needs and not just her own. And so this kind of explains to you the two polarities of what these energies look like. And let's first go into white Shakti. So when we are dealing predominantly with our white river of Shakti, we are then polarizing into those qualities of softness, tenderness, unconditional love, kindness, devotion, service. And these are beautiful qualities to have. Like, every woman needs these qualities. It's ingrained in us, you know. We all have both of these polarities. But when we're polarizing into white Shakti, that's when we're at a time of service, and when we are actually more focused on the outside world and of like loving and making other people happy and being of service to other people, instead of ourselves. And so this is where we experience almost the shadow of white Shakti. If we aren't also balanced with our red river of Shakti, if we aren't also embodying those qualities of the red river of Shakti, and we're just purely polarizing into that white river of Shakti, what happens is, because we don't have that aspect of ourselves, which is a little bit selfish, I don't want to use that word, but I think it kind of explains what I'm trying to get to. Because we're not focusing on ourselves at all, and we're just purely focusing on other people, this is where our unintegrated white Shakti comes into play. And that looks like somebody who has no self-worth or low self-worth, who is people-pleasing, somebody who sacrifices themselves, becomes a martyr, puts everybody before themselves, doesn't know how to receive, just gives and gives and gives. And you can see how it's noble and beautiful to want to just embody the white river of Shakti, but how this backfires if we are just polarized there. So ultimately what we want to do is we want to become integrated in our white river of Shakti, so that we have a healthy sense of ourselves plus a healthy sense of everybody else. And the way we do that is by integrating the qualities of the red river of Shakti. So let's go into the red river now. So the red river being the wild woman inside of us, being the sensual, the erotic, the ecstatic, the empowered, the free, the fearless side of ourselves. The part of ourselves that isn't afraid to shine, the part of ourselves that knows how to receive. And equally, when we're just polarizing into this side of our consciousness, when we are just wanting to be in our red river of Shakti, and we are abandoning those beautiful, nourishing, nurturing qualities of the white feminine, then we become unintegrated in that red river of Shakti as well. So what this looks like is when women become obsessed with their looks and with age and beauty, and become almost vain in a sense. And when women use their sexual energy to manipulate and to control, or when they become cruel and domineering. So you see how when we're in the red river of Shakti, if now we're just focused on us and ourselves, and we're not considering other people and their needs and having empathy, then that's when we become that dominatrix. We become cruel and unloving, and we can become hard almost, but it comes from a place of like that makes us feel powerful. So this is where we need to then integrate into that the need to also consider other people. So when we're then equally considering ourselves plus other people, we know how to be fearless and free, and we foster our inner sense of magnetism, and we're equally giving and receiving. And so that's really the healthy and integrated aspect of red Shakti. So pretty much the picture that I'm trying to paint for you is what we want to do is we want to own and embody both sides of ourselves. We want to own our white Shakti, our beautiful mother energy, our nurturing, loving energy, plus we want to embody our red Shakti, which is that wild, free-spirited, magnetizing, fearless aspect of ourselves, because these ultimately work together to create the whole and integrated aspect of our feminine consciousness. And if we don't have these two rivers working together, then we'll always feel a disconnection, or we'll feel something missing in our personality. And that leads us to feeling unfulfilled and to feeling lost in a sense of who we are. And unfortunately, society has, while idealizing the good woman, has objectified the bad girl. So what we see is that all over social media, TV, everywhere, that bad girl energy is being used and being sold and being objectified. So just watch like a Nicki Minaj music video, or even Miley Cyrus, and you will see exactly what the unintegrated red river of Shakti looks like. And that's what we have been painted as a picture of. That's, how do I put this? Like, that is what we have been taught to idealize. So we actually go straight for those qualities. We just want to be that like sex object. Yet at the same time, society shames women for that exact thing. So women who sleep around, or women who are just overly obsessed with their beauty, that's exactly it. We're shamed for it, and we're told that we are vain and we're Jezebels, and we're just like manipulative. And so in our consciousness, it's like there's a part of us that wants to be that good girl, that loving mother energy, because that's what's right and acceptable. Yet at the same time, we're being sold the objectification of women and the negative use of our sexual energy and our power. So you see how there's been such a huge disconnection and disruption in the healthy integration of both of these aspects, and how they really work together to help us to be authentically empowered as women. And how this can cause a lot of confusion in the way we show up in life, in the way we relate to ourselves, in the way we relate to life. And I think ultimately the gold that really comes from integrating these two aspects of the red and white Shakti in a healthy way is that we are authentically empowered enough to know that we no longer need to identify with outside influences, and that we find our sense of empowerment within ourselves, and we find our wholeness within ourselves. And that, I think, is really the goal that we want to get to.